This is The Huddle, presented by the Midwest Christian Boys Football Camp, otherwise known as Man Camp. Welcome to The Huddle. Hey friend, welcome back to The Huddle. I'm Mike McCurry, your host. I have our guest, Chris McCurry, with us today. We're going to cut the chit-chat, dive right into it. We got a short period of time. We left off yesterday talking about lessons that you can learn at football camp, something that you are very keen to and aware of. One lesson is learning to play your position. You come in thinking, I'm going to be the stud quarterback, and you end up playing left guard. Well, let me tell you, I got to play left guard my first year, and it's awesome. I love playing line, offense and defense. Don't bemoan. It's so much fun. But you played a position in the military. You came all the way up through the ranks. You were an officer, and you started JROTC, and then came up through the ranks, and you served in different positions. You were assistant to people. You were a company commander. You were a deputy commander, all these type of things, and you learned how to play a position. Talk to us using kind of the military background, but how it applies to football camp and the Bible about learning to play your position.
Well, yeah, that's one of the neat things about military and ministry sort of go hand in hand, just as far as the dynamics of working with people and the team environment. And so certainly in the military, you have a chain of command. And as you said, not everybody can be the commander. And there are times through my military career, I was privileged to serve for 22 and a half years. And there are times that, as you said, sometimes you're in charge and other times you're the follower. But one thing I realized is even when you're, quote, the commander, you still have a boss and you still have responsibility to serve with those people that you're entrusted to be overseeing and responsible for. But much like in football camp, we look many times as the quarterback, as the leader of the team. But yet he's not, out there all by himself. He has 10 other people on the field that are counting on him. He has to answer to the coaches. Ultimately everything we do, we should be answering to the Lord. And so, football is a great tool that we can have to understand what is our roles and responsibilities in life. Because, whether you're, as a young man, you're going to grow up, whether you go to college or not, you're going to go out and you're going to get a job. Lord willing, you find a wife, you're going to be the leader of the home. You have a role. And Absolutely. I even look at myself, I'm a husband, I'm a dad, I'm a father, I'm a church member, and you have to play your role right. In whatever stage of life you're in.
Well, let's ask this critical thinking question, because the huddle is a time for critical thinking. Ask you, I'm talking to you parents, I'm talking to you pastors, I'm talking to all of us, but campers especially, how do you handle it when you are, quote unquote, not the boss? Are you constantly causing friction? You constantly have your hackles up when the boss says, let's do this or let's go this direction? Are you I'm not saying you don't say, hey, ask clarifying questions or maybe say, well, what if we did this with wisdom, discernment? I'm saying, are you just causing problems? Are you just a problem child, if you would? I mean, in the church, in ministry, unity is not the goal. It's the byproduct of the goal. We want to be more like Christ. We want to be transformed by the renewing of our mind, et cetera, et cetera. And when that happens, it's amazing how when we're more like Christ, we don't have many problems with each
right.
other. And the same on the football field, if the goal is to win, not by any means necessary, but I'm saying if that means I need to play water boy, all right, I'm going to keep these guys hydrated. Right. If I need to do this or that. And so I ask you, maybe you'd say, yeah, as I think about it, I'm not doing a great job with that. Or here's one or two things I could do better. I want you to think about how well you fill your role. Because God, we've talked about this throughout the previous broadcasts, but where God has people is not a mistake. And we're going to talk about that actually tomorrow on the broadcast. We're going to look at and speak directly to my father, a product of a broken home, but to see where God has you and has continued to allow you to influence so many others. We're going to talk about how God knows exactly where you are and he's got a plan for your life. I've said it this way, if you've got a pulse, God's got a purpose for
Amen.
you. Let me encourage you to join us tomorrow on The Huddle. Maybe share this broadcast with a friend, and appreciate so much you listening to this production of the Midwest Christian Boys Football Camp. mancamp1994.org if you need more information. Thank you for listening to The Huddle. You can find more information and register for Man Camp online at mancamp1994.org. Man Camp is a ministry of the First Baptist Church in Dwight, Illinois. Join us next time in The Huddle.